This one's not over yet. Saw a great game last evening in college football with Western and Vanderbilt. A lot of the folks from the Western side were celebrating, figuring they had the win, but Vandy came battling back. Inside 5 minutes to play here. Here's what you like about your big running back, number 45, Derek Pugh. The fundamentally sound way that he carries that football and he runs it. There's been guys grabbing at the football all evening long, and they just can't knock it loose.
Uh-oh, bad snap, but somehow Dials collects it and picks up a good gain.
Loose? It came loose.
The ball came out. Who has it? Paintsville. Wow, what a turn of events. Dials fielded the bad snap, got it back, and then fumbled it back to the Tigers, who all of a sudden have new life.
I'm not sure, but my guess is that number 15, Cash Daniel, made another big play. As Dials was coming through the line of scrimmage, Tanner, he was having to hold the football in a tough way. See, he's got his left hand trying to move it to his right. Daniel knocks it free, and the ball is back and recovered back there. But Cash Daniel, he's got like a bullseye on his chest. Still keeps making the big plays.
Tigers from their own 41, handoff here. And somehow making something out of nothing is Spencer. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and ended up with a gain of 6 yards.
I think Alex Spencer here is showing you that he's a big-time ball player as well. Sort of bending over a little bit there. I don't know, sometimes you take a hard lick maybe on the hand, on the thumb.
Not in this game, a hard lick. We haven't seen that tonight, have we?
Hey, man.
2nd and 4 after that good first down run by Spencer.
I think they could get 34, Spencer to the corner.
They run him again. He's got a first down, and he's into Pikeville territory. How about this turn of events, Jim?
Tremendous.
Looked like Pikeville was about to run out the clock, maybe punch it in for a score to put this game away, and here come the Tigers.
Oh, great blocking point of attack. The seal is up the middle. But the young man who's feeling it right now is 34, Alex Spencer. They can get him making some big plays here and get an opportunity.
They go back to Spencer. And another pretty good carry. 3, maybe 4 yards, depending on the spot, as our fourth quarter clock ticks down to 3.5 minutes to go. Paintsville has not scored since its first drive of the game. Would have to score a touchdown and then get the 2-point conversion here to tie this game up.
What a great game we've seen in Tanner. You sort of wonder, with all this hitting going on, are these teams on a collision course for a playoff matchup in November? I'd love to be here.
Still a long time to go in this regular season matchup. Daniel keeps it himself. And Daniel knocks a couple defenders to the ground and picks up 2 yards. 3rd and 5 coming up.
You said a couple. I saw a half a dozen of them laying down there. And his opposite number, Anthony Vanderbrecht, they list him at 5'11", 155. I'm going to get Coach McNamee to weigh that guy again, because he brings all 155 to the ballpark.
It's the stoutest 155 we've seen this season, that's for sure.
He brings it all to the ballpark. Big play here.
3rd and 5. Do these Tigers have 9 lives?
Trips to the top.
Now they hand it off, and Spencer stays on his feet. He has the first down. Oh my goodness. Alex Spencer, the junior, has come out of nowhere to provide a spark for this Paintsville offense.
Did you see him use the left hand to balance himself, push himself back up, and get another 5 yards? Fundamentally sound football. You kind of hate to see anybody lose this game. It's been so spectacular. Look at the Deskins Motors instant replay. We get a great shot here from our guys. Watch him use the left hand to keep himself up. See there? See him use that left hand to keep himself up, and then he drives for another 5 yards.
1st and 10, under 2 minutes. Daniel looking to put it in the air. Got a man out there. It's James Allen. Touchdown, Tigers. And Paintsville is a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up after the 33-yard strike from Cash Daniel to the freshman James Allen. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Take a look on your Deskins Motors instant replay. The play fake. Daniel looking deep for Allen. Beating Gerald to the pylon. Touchdown, Tigers. And now you're forced to go for two here. Cash Daniel and his guys. Boy, don't you love the smooth, calm way that Daniel takes control of the huddle.
That was one heck of a delivery, laying that ball in there. Allen, the terrific catch over the shoulder for the touchdown.
Cash Daniel, Scott and Leela's baby boy. Will he call his own number here? Pikeville going to use their last time out? Well, I think so.
According to the scoreboard, Pikeville had 2 left. They're going to say Paintsville takes the timeout here. Probably a smart move by Joe Chirico to get the right play call here. As this could be the ball game. And for all intents and purposes, it is the ball game. And I mean, even if Paintsville didn't get it, you've still got the onside kick. They could recover, and then you could force a 3 and out and get the ball back with a few seconds remaining.
But you really don't have the timeouts to do that. This one is one that perhaps you've maybe worked on. You've got it in your pocket. You haven't used it all year long. And you think you can do something here and get it to the end zone. Of course, we've seen number 1, Kent Phelps, top running back for Paintsville, go out due to injury. He's over on the sidelines cheering on his guys. I've never been a huge fan inside the 5-yard line of going to the shotgun, so I like what Coach Chirico is doing here. He's going with Daniel under center.
Jonathan Lemaster, a big lineman, in the back, and instead Daniel keeps it around the edge. He's in, and we're tied at 15. How about that diversion? They had Pikeville thinking they were going to hand it off to Lemaster. Instead, Daniel scoots around the edge. There is a penalty marker down on the play.
Watch this reverse pivot here. Beautiful play. This is one Coach Chirico's had in his pocket. I believe you're just going to get a face mask there against Pikeville. It will be refused. If Paintsville hadn't have made it, they would have gotten another chance. But number 15 there, Cash Daniel. Scott and Leela's baby boy makes some big plays late in the 4th quarter. Could we be in store for overtime here?
That was a 6-play drive that spanned 59 yards, ended on a 33-yard touchdown pass from Cash Daniel to James Allen. And let's not understate the effort on that drive of junior running back Alex Spencer. Picked up a couple first downs, ran the ball really well for an offense that was struggling without the injured Kent Phelps. And all of a sudden, Jimmy, we have ourselves an instant classic.
We certainly do. You see Coach Chirico, you know what he's telling these guys? That Pikeville has a tremendous special teams opportunity here. Gerald is back there. He can make you miss. And right now, if you're Pikeville, you're one to get the ball in the hands of number 1, Chatlin Gerald, and see what he can do in space. I guess, are we saying that the penalty took effect? I guess they'll assess the penalty
on the kickoff.
On the kickoff.
So that's a big call.
You've got a chance for an onside kick here that's only going to go to the 35-yard line.
Or you can try to pin them deep. Pin them deep, force a 3 and out, get the ball back.
Yeah, you could. You know, I tell you, with the 15 extra yards, Coach Chirico may just tell his guy to boom it. We've seen Pikeville, they do such a tremendous job on kickoffs. Their guys have the leg to get it to the end zone from 60 yards away. Wouldn't be the worst choice, I guess, to go ahead and just try to hammer this thing through the end zone. Kentucky high school football, if the ball goes to the end zone, you cannot run it out.
Every fan here at Memorial Field on their feet. Chatlin Gerald back deep for Pikeville. They do kick it short. And it's fielded. This is Cody Charles. Tackled at about the 25-yard line. So that Paintsville special teams unit does its job and leaves the Panthers with a $1:43 to work with. 2 timeouts still remaining for Pikeville. As hobbling to the sideline goes Charles. He's played well tonight on both sides of the ball. You hate to see him get injured late in a game like this.
Boy, let's hope it's just a cramp.
Right.
Let's hope it's just a cramp.
If you're Chris McNamee, what are you dialing up here?
Personally, I think you try a pass, see if Gerald can get somebody free. That's what they'll do here.
And the pass is caught. Minimal gain. Anthony Vanderbeck, the senior, with the reception. Vanderbeck, who has played extremely well on the defensive side of the ball, comes up with the catch for 4 yards there at 2nd and 6 and the clock running. Dials handing off here to Pugh, trying to reverse field. Now he's trying to bounce it to the outside, but he is going to be wrapped up and dropped. Good pursuit by Dalton Daniels, who got him on the leg, by the legs, and then waited for help to get him to the ground. And that play will get us down to the minute mark here in the 4th quarter. 3rd down here for the Panthers. 3rd and 2.
25-second clock is just now starting, Tanner. I gotta believe that Pikeville will take this one all the way down. You certainly don't want to turn the ball over here. They'll go quickly.
They give it to Pugh, and Derek Pugh brought down very close to the 1st down marker. That will stop the clock, as we will either get a measurement or they will move the chains. 1st down, says referee.
Yeah, Keith Henry there.
Keith Henry.
Tremendous crowd involvement this evening, hadn't it been, Tanner? I mean, this has been tremendous, as good as high school football gets. They've been playing games here at Memorial Stadium since the era just past World War II. A lot of great players, a lot of great teams, a lot of great moments, and we've seen one here this evening.
And how about this crowd on its feet?
Tremendous.
They've been electric from kickoff until this point now, with 35 seconds left to go in regulation. A 1st down for Pikeville coming out of this timeout. Panthers still have 1 timeout in the holster that they can use. So this game far from even going to overtime. And keep in mind, Pikeville has a very good kicker in Denton Heffington.
Yeah.
He has not kicked a field goal this year, but he is 9 for 9 on extra points.
And Tanner, that's a great point. You know, I was sort of thinking here that maybe you just chew up these 35 and go to overtime. But you're exactly right. If they could hit a big pass here, and let's face it, you try a 30, 40-yard pass here, it's the same as a punt if it's intercepted. So you may see Coach McNamee, he knows Dials has a big arm.
Dials throwing back to Gerald, and it's through his hands, incomplete. If Gerald makes that catch, he had a couple blockers waiting on him.
Just, you see Chandler there, the head drop. He just turned his eyes briefly before the ball got there. And it's always difficult, Tanner, in pads to catch the ball that's directly over top of your head. It's just difficult to get the hands up there because of the pads. Restricts your ability there for the range of motion. And Gerald taking his eyes off of it. Incomplete. Stops the clock.
2nd and 10. Now they'll go back to the ground here. Derek Pugh, he's met by Cash Daniel and a couple other Tigers.
Ball came loose.
The ball is out. The Tigers have it. Unbelievable.
Daniel just knocked it away.
2nd time tonight, Cash Daniel has caused a fumble. It was recovered by Darren Morris. His first fumble recovery of the season. These Tigers have 9 lives, Jim.
Yeah, they've got 9 lives, and they've got a guy who's going to be playing linebacker for UK here in a couple years. And Daniel, as cool as anybody in the ballpark, he's got a big arm, Tanner. And you wonder if maybe they run trips to one side and try and get something up there. Let somebody go get it.
Paintsville is out of timeouts. 21 seconds remaining in regulation. Daniel, of course, had the 33-yard touchdown pass to Allen on the possession before. He's going to air it out here. The big lefty going deep down the sideline. Grace trying to make the catch. It's incomplete.
Flag.
But a flag came in.
There was pass interference, Tanner, in the last seconds, and ball goes free. Great shot by our guys, but this could be an opportunity for a field goal here. That ball will be placed it'll be a 15-yard assessment. It's not at the point of infraction. So I'm going to guess that they'll have the ball somewhere inside the 20-yard line. Would be a kick of some 37, 38 yards as we are right here. It's not a spot foul in Kentucky high school football.
Unbelievable how fumbles have cost Pikeville in big moments in this game. That's 2 straight drives that have been derailed by a fumble by the Panthers. Paintsville capitalized and scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion off the last one. We'll see what the Tigers do here.
This one has to go out of bounds or for the touchdown, Tanner. Otherwise, clock will run out.
Daniel, plenty of time over the middle. It is nearly intercepted. It hit Blake Charles right in the hands. Anthony Vanderbeck had a shot at it too, and our clock will stop with 11 seconds remaining in regulation. 2nd and 10 coming up for Paintsville.
And you know, Tanner, you talked about Pikeville certainly has the field goal kicker that could put it through from here, but it would be nearly 38 yards. Not much of a wind to speak of. 11 seconds. It has to go to the end zone. Something short, you're going to have a tackle. Clock will run out.
Daniel. Pass incomplete. He underthrew Richard Grace. Clock stops, 8 seconds left. 3rd down coming up.
I think Daniel just looked there, realized that he didn't have a chance, and just sort of threw it away.
How about the instant classic we're seeing before our eyes here at Memorial Field? Number 10 Paintsville in the Mountain Top 10. Pikeville number 9 in the Mountain Top 10.
They're both moving up.
Pikeville number 2 in the Class A State AP poll. Paintsville number 3.
Got to throw it to the end zone.
A clash of the Class A Titans. 8 seconds left. It's 3rd down. The fans here, they're nervous.
Trips to the near side.
And a penalty marker comes in. This could be a delay of game or an illegal substitution of some kind. Oh, and a big penalty there against Paintsville. That's going to back them up 5 yards. 6th penalty of the game against the Tigers comes at a bad time for them.
They're going to have to toss this one to the end zone, and I'm not sure the officials will talk here. I guess they'll reset the clock.
Maybe to 8 seconds. And we'll keep it at 7.
Okay.
Likely the final play of the game here.
Got to put this one up in the air and just do the old alley-oop. Y tilde R.C. Owens in the late 50s. And I haven't started the play clock yet.
Our referee, Keith Henry, I think
7.2.
I think he's trying to put a little time back up here on the clock. Right now it stands at 7.6. Of course, you can't see the tenths of a second on our scoreboard there on your screen, but the scoreboard here at Memorial Field showing 7.6 as you see some of the players over there on that Paintsville sideline, and you see Kent Phelps out of uniform. He'd love to be out there to try to help his team right here as they are 25 yards away from a victory. One of the biggest victories probably here in Paintsville in a long time if they can pull it off. The youngsters are nervous as well.
Everybody's excited. Everybody's standing, and I think they were going to put maybe 8.2 up on the clock.
Yeah, the clock keeper over here trying to figure that out, get that taken care of before we can.
He's hitting buttons, but nothing's happening. That's kind of like me. They've got it at 8.0. It should be, I believe, 8.2 they're looking for. That could mean a lot here. You've got a 3rd down call. If this play only eats up 5-6 seconds, you'd have another shot. But it has to go to the end zone, in my opinion. The pass short would run the clock out. And maybe some extra football here for us.
Hey, bonus football. We'll take that. 2 great teams here. Of course, a lot of people consider these teams the two of the best in the state in Class A. And speaking of bonus football, an extra Appalachian Wireless Games of the Week on tap for you tomorrow as part of the Appalachian Bowl. Knox Central and Southwestern, followed by Corbin and Clay County. Getting underway at 6 o'clock, and we're ready to go. They have 8 seconds on the clock. Paintsville is 25 yards away from back-to-back victories over Pikeville for the first time in 20 years. Cash Daniel, the big lefty, throwing it up deep to the end zone, and it's nearly caught. There's still time on the clock as Luke Trimble nearly came away with the one-handed catch that would have won the game for the Tigers. But they're going to get one final heave to the end zone here. 2.6 seconds showing. It's 4th and 15, but the fact that it's 4th down does not matter here, as Cash Daniel and company will get one last crack at Pikeville before we go to overtime.
Of course, both of the fellas battling for the football in the end zone have had cramps and had to come out. Trimble, as well as 33 Cody Charles, having to be kind of helped off the field in this 4th quarter. They battle for the football, falls incomplete.
Paintsville 25 yards away from the biggest win in the Joe Chirico era. Cash Daniel going to try to run for it, and Cash stays on his feet, diving for the pylon. Did he get there? No signal yet.
I don't think he got there.
I think they're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
What an effort, and the clock has run out.
Cash Daniel choosing not to throw it, not to take a shot at the end zone, trying to do it with his legs. And he comes up short. And we go to overtime. Pikeville 15, Paintsville 15. The Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. Watch the replay here, Jim.
Tanner, we're going to see here Daniel looking. Everybody's to the near side. He decides to tuck it under. And you see there, as who wouldn't it be, 34? That would be Charles trying to make the play. Not sure, was that Gerald or perhaps Clay Sloan that came over and knocked him out of bounds before he could reach to get to the pylon. Tremendous game, tremendous finish. Now the captains will go to midfield. They'll toss the Cohen, and similarly to college football, of course, in Kentucky high school football, the teams will start on the 10-yard line. They'll have 4 downs to score. If you win the toss, of course, the key is to refuse, or not refuse, but to play defense first. Thereby, you can see what's in front of you as the other team offensively. If they don't score, a lot of times you'll see teams kick a quick field goal. But if they do score a touchdown, you know that's exactly what you have to do as you go inside the huddle there with the Paintsville Tigers. Of course, Tanner, just great high school football, great deal. Kentucky high school football, I love the way the overtimes are decided. I love the way college decides them. A lot of people aren't for that. They want to see 1958. They want to see, the Baltimore Colts and Johnny U drive it down after the kickoff. I'm not for that. I love this deal. In Texas high school football for years, they didn't have overtime. They just had ties. So a lot of my buddies from Texas were thrilled that high school football could have overtimes, and they thought it was just a great idea. The team's getting a water break here. You see Chris McNamee sort of rubbing the hands through the hair there. Hair's going to turn gray eventually, Chris. That's just the way it works.
Especially if he has many more games like this, right?
I tell you. But both of these teams building a lot of depth, building a lot of character. They do a lot of things in the community. Certainly something that the superintendents, teachers can be really proud of. I spoke with Paintsville Superintendent Coy Salmons, his wife Ann. 12 years for Coy down here as the superintendent. Got my man Chuck Rowe back in the fold here at Paintsville, but Keith Henry now will go for the toss.
Let's remind everyone what's at stake here. Each team 2-0. Paintsville trying to start 3-0 for the first time since 2007. Also seeking back-to-back wins over Pikeville, something the Tigers as a program have not done in at least 20 years. Pikeville trying to beat Paintsville for the 14th time in the last 15 meetings. Also in danger of going down tonight is Pikeville's 17-game regular season winning streak. The Panthers have not lost a regular season game since succumbing to Belfry back in September of 2013.
What a ball game. Tanner, you know, you maybe asked me, like, why do you do this for 30 years and keep going? This is the reason why. What an effort. What an effort by my man Cash Daniel. What an effort.
The hundreds of fans who have packed Memorial Field and those who couldn't get a seat and are standing to watch this one are certainly getting their money's worth tonight. And those at home watching, getting to share in all the excitement as well. Jim Frazier, Anthony Bersalia, Tanner Hesterberg. It's been our honor to bring this one to you here tonight. We've not had an overtime game in our Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week since the Prestonsburg Shelby Valley Regional Championship in Class 2A last year, a game that Shelby Valley won on the final play in overtime. And we have overtime here tonight between these two powers in Class A. Paintsville ranked number 3 in the state in single A. Pikeville number 2. And now the captains from both teams will meet out at midfield for the coin toss for overtime. Captains for Pikeville, Vanderbeck, Charles, Coleman, and Pugh. And for Paintsville, Trimble, Daniel, Childers, and LeMaster.
This has just been a tremendous, you know, you talk about Class A football. This is not double A. This isn't triple A. This isn't a 5A game. A single A high school football game with 5,000–6,000 people here. Another 1,000 lining the stadium. 15-15. We're headed overtime. Tremendous effort.
After the coin toss here, we will check in on the sidelines with our reporter Anthony Bersalia before we get the overtime started. But first, we need to figure out who wins the toss, and normally the team that wins the toss chooses defense first because it's advantageous to know what you need to match or exceed on offense, and it affects your play calling.
I think Paintsville won the toss and will play defense, but I'm not sure.
Paintsville.
No, Pikeville.
You are correct.
Well, it's Paintsville won the toss. Pikeville will start off. I think they motion. They'll head down to the far end zone.
And we go to Anthony.
Guys, it's electric here down here on both sidelines. It's like pins and needles. It feels like a playoff game. Both teams are about overcoming cramps and battling injuries. But for both sidelines, Coach McNamee first said that he wants to see his team be better on defense and protect the ball on offense. No more turnovers in this overtime period. And then Coach Jericho said, stay focused. We've got the game where we want the game. Let's try to execute and pull out the victory in overtime. Tanner and Jim.
Thanks, Anthony. Pikeville took a 15-7 lead on a 7-yard touchdown run by Derek Pugh late in the third quarter. Had a couple of chances, drives where they could have drove in and maybe put the game away, but back-to-back fumbles. Paintsville scores late in the fourth quarter, ties it up on a 2-point conversion, and now we're here in overtime. First play of overtime is a pitch to Derek Pugh, looking for a block on the corner, doesn't get one, and it's second down. This is where, if you're a player, you're running on fumes here, you really have to reach within yourself to come up with an extra something special if you want your team to win the game.
No question, Tanner, and that's those big guys up front as their attention is drawn to the coaching staff as they design the plays. They love running wide with 45.
Second and goal on the first series of overtime. Up the middle, it's Pugh. Tackled inside the 5, about the 4, maybe 3-yard line. It'll be third and goal.
Good blocking point of attack. Good surge there for Pikeville. And now, Tanner, if you score the touchdown, do you go for 2 or do you kick the extra point?
Well, with the Panthers' inability to hold on to the football as of late, I think you have to worry about scoring the touchdown first before you even think about that. They have it spotted at the 2. Third and goal. Pugh again up the middle. He's into the end zone, and Pikeville scores on the first possession of overtime. And now it's decision time for Chris McNamee.
Really is a big decision. Let's recall how Pikeville got to 15 points and made it 15-7. They'd gotten up 13-7 with the big Pugh touchdown. And then Tanner, Paintsville jumped off sides. Chris McNamee decided to go for 2. Turned out to be a pretty good choice because he needed those extra points as they were successful to tie this game.
I'll go for the 1 here.
I think that's a good decision.
Denton Heffington, normally very sure-footed, boots this one, and it is good. And Pikeville up by 7 with Paintsville about to have its first possession of overtime. Heffington now on the season 12 for 12 on extra points.
You know, you just got to applaud the effort of the coaches and the players in this game. Tremendous, tremendous effort. I think it's setting up for a 2-point conversion for the win, to be honest with you, the way I was seeing it. I think Pikeville's going to have a tough time keeping number 15 out of the end zone.
Again, Paintsville doing all of this without starting running back Kent Phelps, who went down in the second quarter with an injury while returning a punt. He's not returned to the lineup. These gutsy Tigers have fought their way back. They're down 7 here, taking their first possession in overtime.
Coaching staff has to be thinking, Tanner, not only about this succession of plays, but what would we do on a 2-point conversion attempt?
Empty backfield and 5 receivers for the big left-handed quarterback Cash Daniel. The UK commit runs it straight up the middle. Daniel plunges down inside the 5-yard line. A very good gain on first down here in overtime for the Tigers.
Saw big number 59, Logan Coleman's helmet flies off. Your helmet flies off when you get hit by this guy and a number of these players. Daniel just takes it, uses a lot of determination there, and those big guys up front, they spend a lot of time in the weight room. Hard to tackle number 15 inside the 5.
Same formation on second down, and again it's Daniel straight up the middle, leaping, staying on his feet. Cash, touchdown Paintsville. 1 point to force a second overtime and 2 for the win. What will Joe Chirico decide to do here?
Gotta believe they're going for 2 here. Might see Paintsville use a timeout here. They are. They're going to use, you get an extra timeout. And just a tremendous, tremendous game, Tanner. I've seen a lot of high school football, and this one had a lot of moxie. As it turns out, for number 15 there, Cash Daniel, he and I paths crossed for the first time when he was about 5 years old. So I haven't had the chance to actually see a young man play live. Seen a lot of tape. What a heart. What a heart. Big-time player. Basically on the overtime there, they just lined him up. And watch this second effort here, Tanner, on the Deskins Motors instant replay. He dives and then keeps going. The pile actually kept him up. Last lunge, 22-21. The big guys up front are clapping their hands. They're pretty fired up. Paintsville was in full pads an hour and a half before this one began. They came out and warmed up for a good 25-30 minutes in the tremendous heat. Fans going wild with the call, Mr. Tanner Hesterberg.
It all comes down to this. Empty backfield for Cash Daniel, the big lefty, and UK commit looking for the end zone, trying to get there. Cash is in! These Tigers do have 9 lives, and they're the kings of Class A tonight.
What a ball game. Oh, man.
to 22. Paintsville comes from behind in improbable fashion to defeat rival Pikeville here tonight at Memorial Field in what is perhaps the biggest win in the Joe Chirico era. Goodness gracious. High school football in the mountains on display here tonight.
All I'm saying is you see our man Anthony right in the middle of the huddle there, but great class on the part of both of these teams, both of these coaches. Like you mentioned, this was an instant classic, and these young men are going to sleep pretty well tonight because that was a tremendous, tremendous battle. And I, for one, want to be when the playoff game is. Okay, we want to be there for the playoffs. These teams appear to be on a collision course for a chance to go to Bowling Green and win a state championship.
And here come the players to midfield to celebrate with the fans, the students, the cheerleaders. This crowd has been lively and raucous all night long, and Paintsville deserves to celebrate tonight. 23-22 the final score. How about that scene at midfield?
It is. Our man Anthony once again trying to get through the crowd to get Coach Chirico, but going to be difficult. There's a massive humanity in there, and tremendous, tremendous high school football game. To say that this is a Class A football game, unbelievable. The type of hitting that we saw out there on that field, the big-time plays. It was tied at 7 at the end of the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, and then the action started, tied at 15. And then in the overtime period, Pikeville scores the touchdown. I thought they might go for the one extra point. They did. That set up a possible 2-point situation. And what did Paintsville do in overtime with a lot of players sort of missing with Kent Phelps hurt? They just simply lined it up and gave it to 15. He did the rest.
So in overtime, Pikeville starts by scoring a touchdown via Derek Pugh, and then they kick the extra point. A decision that may be questioned in hindsight now after Pikeville gives up the touchdown to Paintsville, and then the Tigers punch in the 2-point conversion. And all 3 plays in overtime were just straight runs up the middle by Cash Daniel.
Well,
holy cow. Hey, what a ball game.
Scott and Lelis, baby boy, has a big one. Big game this evening. I think Anthony's trying to get Cash, but there's too many people in line.
Everybody's.
Well, we've got Freddie and I believe Cash out there, Tim.
Wanting a piece of the celebration. Let's go down to Anthony, who's with Cash Daniel.
Cash, what a play. What was going through your mind, and did you know you were going to get into the end zone on that 2-point conversion?
I knew from the play go when Coach Kenner called it. Ran 3 plays in a row. I had comments to my 5 guys up front. They're the biggest, they're the meanest, and they're the nastiest offensive linemen up and down this region. I guarantee you that.
What did it mean just now to talk to your dad after this victory?
You know, me and him have been through so much, and, you know, he's pushed me hard to get to this moment all my life, you know, to never give up. And, you know, it's our mentality. You know, we, not me. We don't stop punching. Coach Chirico told us before the game, it's going to be a fist fight. It's all about who keeps punching. And we kept punching tonight.
Well, Cash, congratulations. What a game. This one will be remembered for ages, man. Enjoy this with your team.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach, what a game. You caused Pikeville to fumble it 3 times. Your team stayed with it. I got to say, your team doesn't even know the term of the meaning dead, because they said on the sidelines, we're not going to die, we're not going to give up. Talk about your team's motivation to stay in this game.
Well, you know, that's the thing we talk about all the time. You know, we want to create turnovers. We want to we just like Cash said, we're going to keep punching. We won't die. We're just a hard bunch of kids that's worked hard and battled to get where they are. You know, from 3 years ago, we were 4 years ago 2-9 to right here 3-0, playing a great Pikeville team. That was a heavyweight bout. You know, we just kept punching, and I won't say the better team won. It was exciting.
No hesitation in your eyes going for 2 points, huh?
Not at all. We're going to go for the win. We knew that.
And I wanted to get one more thought. The touchdown pass down here that made it 15-13. How huge was that? And did you think the pass would be a touchdown?
Oh yeah, I mean we rep that play all the time. And James, he's a freshman. James Allen comes up big every day, and so there's no doubt we felt good about that play.
Well, Coach, enjoy this win for the night. Best of luck to you the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Tanner and Jim.
All right, Anthony, how about that interview with Cash? That was special.
Well, the young man has some fire. The young man has some fire, and maybe you might term it a special fire. And you just see what he said there. It's we, not me. A lot of special things can happen, and just got to tip your hat here to a great game, great team. You see there, Cash Daniel committed as a linebacker to the University of Kentucky, and he's going to be someone that is deserving of our cheers for all of us Big Blue fans. I think the way he talks, the way he does things, Tanner, it reminds me a lot of Tim Couch, a kind of guy that you can really get behind, a mountain guy who really loves the mountains, and he's going to accept that he is a mountain boy wanting to do good things. I was there cheering for Tim Couch when Bill Curry had him running the wishbone, and it didn't look like things were going to work out, but you have to be in the right system. And I think if Cash gets down to UK, gets in the right system, you'll see him making some big plays as the fans finally file out of here. I wouldn't be in any big hurry trying to leave the ballpark, though. It's going to be a traffic jam here in Paintsville for a while.
23-22, the final score. Pretty incredible. Jim and I will be back to attempt to wrap this one up and preview tomorrow's slate of Games of the Week, sponsored by Appalachian Wireless. And we'll return to Paintsville right after this on this TV and WYMT.com.